January 17th, 2026, the day we change. At least I hope it's the day that we change. But that's the information that I'm going to give you today. Today is still January 16th, but I thought I would give it to you earlier because I wanted you to be prepared for whatever you might experience, because it's time for you to change and step into your authentic self. And that's what I'm doing. One of the messages for today was, you always remember. That means that you remember who you were meant to become. And that might have been challenging for you over the last bit of time, maybe most of your life, or the last several years in particular. But tomorrow, on January 17th, this is a time where you can let go of that, where you can start to own yourself. Now, we're moving into, and I didn't know anything about this, but it was obviously why I was guided to tell you, but we're moving into Venus and Aquarius, and that's a pretty spectacular thing about loving yourself and about loving others. And Aquarius is about coming together, which again you may not have seen or experienced in your life or in our world, but that's why it's important for you to change, which is what I'm doing. I did a presentation earlier, and you'll have the link for that, and I said, you can't lie and be happy. And many times we do that. I was doing that, because that's when we can't acknowledge who we are or what we've created or who we're supposed to become. We are each born with something within us that we're meant to bring to the world, to evolve, and to offer something. And that's going to be different for each person. And it was entirely different for me. My life was very all over the place. Let's just call it that, because you might have done that. And those of you who might be listening who have had a really difficult time recently, I'm telling you, this is the time where it could change for you, because that change happens in your consciousness. We're all consciousness. When we come into this world, we have a consciousness that we have accepted from whoever came before, our family, our ancestors, where we live, whatever it might be. But then it becomes our job to move beyond those limitations, because they're always limitations, to accept who we're meant to be in this world. From a young child, I thought I wanted to change the world. I'd always felt that way. Couldn't explain it to you. And now I know that I can. Because, see, we change the world when we can change ourselves. When we can look at who we are, what we've been through, what trauma we've had, all of that, and decide to move beyond it and accept going to this higher state of existence. And that's what my life led me to do. I couldn't have told you that was going to happen. But I did something that no one else had done, and so that was challenging, and that's why your life might have been challenging. You're doing something no other soul has ever done on this planet, but that's why you were born. And the only difficulty you will experience in your life is when you refuse to own it, when you refuse to move in that direction. And you're going to doubt yourself, and you're going to have fear, because those are all the things, these human conditions that we have that we must move through if we're going to ascend to a higher state of existence. I could not have told you that my life would have brought through a philosophy that combines personal development, self-actualization, and ascension. And it causes healing in any person, and it would cause that in our world as well. Because you have to move through your generational biases, your hatred, your anger, your doubt, your depression, your all of those things. But then you start to experience that you heal, and that you start to become happier, and you move to a higher state of consciousness, and you start to love yourself and others. Because you see beyond the chaos. You will see beyond all of that. And that's what occurred for me. I wasn't accepting it, though, so you might not accept it right away. We never do. But there is that other level that you reach where you understand you're seeing yourself and everything else in a completely new way. And when people talk about the fifth dimension or that state of ability or quality, that's exactly what Wilhelm gave me. And they also did something else. We're moving through a time of great division in our lives and in our world. That division exists within us. It's always been there because we've been programmed to have it. So Wilhelm had me start at a different place. because they knew that it would be really important for this time in our world. Now, I resisted, as you might have resisted what you're here to do, because I didn't believe it. That's the only difficulty we have, is belief. How can we believe in who we are and what we're supposed to become? Well, I wrote it down every single day for 37 years, so I do know. And to tell you that I know no one has to struggle or suffer, I can say that because I had to live it and create something that could give others the ability to understand who they are. I didn't know I was accepting that role, and I will tell you most times I ran from it. You might have done that, where you felt something you were supposed to do but said, nope, can't be me, I'm not going to do it. I did that. But I can no longer do that because it's been revealed how powerful this work is, the difference it will make in your life and our world. And I'm saying your life because it doesn't matter who you are. We can only evolve to a state of, or a height, when more people are doing it, when there's a collective agreement that we can change something, and that comes from within each of us. We will all look outside at the world and we will blame everyone else for the conditions that are happening or for the conditions in our lives. And then we have to stop and think, oh, wait a minute, I did that. And that's all of us. We created the conditions because we allowed ourselves to be subservient. We allowed ourselves to stay small or little. But that's a process. And you'll see in the messages that I will leave for the 17th that I laid out the process for 17 years. I did that. And now I can give it to others. Everyone's not going to do this. Everyone's not going to change. Everyone's not going to evolve. And so you have to decide if that's going to be you. But I will tell you, from everything that I have experienced, everything I was given, there's no reason that you can't live this incredible life. And I have on my website, I know what you can achieve. And I do know that because I had to develop it. I had to bring it about. Now, I got distracted and lost as well over the years. And I've become distracted in so many different things that I couldn't get the thing done that I was supposed to do. You might have done that. But that's why that changes on the 17th. Because when you have something that's just knocking you in the face all the time, just saying, this is what you're meant to do, and then you resist it, or you become afraid. And that's what we all do. We become afraid. The conditions that are occurring in our world right now, especially with all the conflict and in the United States, if you happen to live here, it's all of that is because we are waiting for ourselves to become who we're meant to be. Every single person. It's just going to be different for us. Mine was different. To bring through a philosophy, never what I intended, but it is what happened. And I know that it will help any single person who uses it, and it will help our world, which was my childhood dream again, and now I have it. You have that as well. There's something within you that you wanted to do, that you are been maybe hemming and hawing around and not getting to it. Now you're going to do it. And I know that you can. That's why I am changing as well, because I need to be a better example myself. Meaning, how could I be afraid of this work? How could I be afraid of speaking to people and putting it out there? Which is what I was told many years ago, that I needed to be speaking to much larger audiences. And I kept doubting. Can't do that anymore because it's been proven. I put up several documents and I wanted you to see it. And the other day I put out a video. I said, yeah, I'm the guy who received the plan, the solution to your life and our world. And I know that that's true. Because when you reach a place that you don't have the anger, the hatred, the depression about yourself first, and then about others, that's when you're living your life, and that's when you're living your purpose. But it takes us time, so you cannot judge yourself for how long it takes to get there. I am 75, and now I've done it, so I know what you can achieve as well. Please enjoy this document. Check out all of my work. I'm going to be working a lot more with private clients. I just got a couple of bookings today, and I want to explain that a bit. When I work with I'm not like the other channels or people you might have worked with. I developed the ability to receive and interpret information that I had no clue I was doing. It was organized, connected to the changes in our world, astrological changes. I've never studied any of that, but it's all aligned because we know that everything is energy. There are many people, astrologers and all of that, who talk about these changes, and Wilhelm has given me that information, even though I did not study any of that. You have gifts and skills and abilities that will be born as well and start to develop if you stop being afraid of yourself. And I was afraid of myself for a long time. So I do know. But enjoy this work. You will see I'm giving you a gift in there. There is a workbook that you can move through that will help you understand the process and help you understand how much you can accomplish and achieve in your life. And I'm so glad that I'm able to give it to you. And then if you want to go further, then you can join my program or schedule a private session. In the private session, I'm dealing with just you, meaning I receive information that is aligned with your birth date. That is something that's a little different. I know that people didn't understand it. I didn't either, but that's what's happened. And so that's what I love doing, because to see someone break through a barrier that they have is the most gratifying thing anyone can experience, especially when you've moved through a life of difficulty. And then you can see someone else that doesn't have to do that. And that's what my life was, and that's what this work is. So let's change on January 17th, because it's time. I'll see you soon.